so awkward. Yep. Today I'm going to go through, although it's late and we are nearly end of February, I'm going to go through my makes from last year. So my 2024 makes. There are very many failures and I'll introduce them and explain why they failed and what I could, maybe I could do something differently next time. Maybe I just hate that thing and I never want to touch it again. Who knows? Here is a summary of everything that I made in 2024. The first item, I'm calling this the rainbow plaid dress. I have filmed a video about how I made this, but I haven't taken any photos or posted any of that yet. So this, I did make this last year, so I'm including this. And there is no pattern to this. I hacked a bunch to get what I wanted. I had to play with shirring. Yep. Which I want to do a bit more of this year as well. And it was just supposed to be a nice midi to long length dress that I could wear to school for events and things, because there's lots of events that I do at school. So usually with a lot of the clothes that I make, if I've made a piece of clothing from vintage pattern and I like the shape and I like the fit or whatever it is, I smush them. I smush them all together. It's hard for me to follow instructions. I don't like rules. Within reason, I should say. Specifically when it comes to art making or creating, I don't like rules. I actually really like this. I haven't actually worn it yet. I've been saving it for who knows what. Something. My next clothing made, I needed more shorts, so I made myself some shorts. With this fabric, these are actually all those little covers that you get with bedding, so like pillowcase and sheet covers, certain brands. Anyway, my friend gifted me a whole bag full of them in all different patterns and colors and fabric types, and I just decided to patchwork a bunch together. And I've used this short pattern plenty of times. It is from the vintage Marshall Cavendish Make It Easy, and it's one of the short patterns out of that. These ones I changed the pattern and I added an elastic back just because I can, and patch pocket at the back. So yeah, patchwork a bunch of fabric together, and this actual leg piece is quilted. I don't know, I just mixed textures, played. My next make is something that I haven't shared anywhere. I got embarrassed and I don't know why. I made it and I was like, yeah, this is sick, and then I didn't want to wear it. I feel like that's a failure. Anyways, I live in Australia, so it's way too hot to wear it right now, but I feel like I'm hitting my old lady era and I wanted a dressing gown. So using this vintage pattern, I bought a big fluffy blanket from Spotlight, and it's the Keith Haring blankets, and I turned it into a dressing gown. So super easy make. Well, not if you count this type of fabric. Using this type of fabric is not that fun to sew with. Sleeves, long sleeves, tied waist. I didn't add a collar or anything like that because I didn't feel like it. Just a basic robe out of a blanket, robe blanket. So I haven't worn it yet. It hasn't been cold enough because summertime. My next make is another one that I haven't shared yet. It's just something that I wear around the house and float around in, something easy. So this is also another vintage pattern that I have. The bodice part is from the vintage pattern, and then I just attached rectangles and kind of used a bunch of pieces that I have in my fabric stash. They're all Ellie's, some of Ellie's designs. And yeah, it was just a simple flowy dress, but pink, pink tones. Yeah, I really like it. I don't have anything else to say about it. I always like to make Christmas related outfits. It's just a thing I do. Been doing it for years. I sat down with my kids and I said, right, design me the outfit you want to wear for Christmas Day. And this is what they came up with. For the pattern for this, I basically just used a brindle and twig t-shirt pattern, kids t-shirt pattern that I had, and just extended the length like that. Triangle. I also made her a scrunchie for her hair and a little belt like a removable belt. So, and Arch picked a plain shirt, shorts. And so for his, I used some vintage kids patterns that I have in my studio as well, and just kind of hacked them to fit him. They came out really cute. Next up, I also made myself a dress for Christmas, but I didn't end up wearing it. I didn't finish it. I didn't like it. I liked the fabric, but the fit was blah. I'll go get it. So it's just the Grinch. I was trying to replicate another dress I'll show you that I made last year. And whether or not I just didn't have enough fabric for the skirt, or I don't know what I did, but it didn't come out the same. This is a pattern hack as well from there's a vintage 1970s jumpsuit pattern, and that's the bodice part from it. And then I just add a a gathered skirt panel. So that's a job for later this year. Next up in the clothing department is this pair of kids overalls. I actually made these for a person that I know who had a baby. I just haven't seen her yet, so I'll give them to her next time I see her. I deliberately made them in a size like 2 or something big, so just in case. But what I did with this is actually made out of a pair of jeans from the op shop that I chopped up and resewed. I put the patch pockets from the bum on the sides as a feature for little kitty to treasures. And then obviously the decoration here is stamped. I made some stamps out of erasers or rubbers if you're in Australia. Printed them on, and then if I didn't like them, I also went back over them with Poscas and fabric paint just to make them stand out a bit more. And this pattern is one of the overall patterns by Brindle and Twig. Next up is another Keith Haring inspired make. So 2 makes by with Keith Haring print, and I made myself and Violet a dress out of the Spotlight. Again, had a sheet set, and I purchased the sheet set and chopped it up and turned them into little pink dresses. So as you can see, pink love heart dresses. And the patterns, I also just hacked those from other makes that I've made or vintage patterns. And unfortunately the dress that Violet wore, she wore it like 2 or 3 times and she got chocolate all over it, so that's great. It's not really that easy to get out, and I can tell it's there, so she doesn't really wear that one as much, but she really liked that dress, and then I made myself a matching one because why not. Next up is another art related make, and it is my Mulga dress. So Mulga is a mural artist from, I think he's from Sydney, and you can also find some fabric. It's hard to find, but you can also find fabric. And I ordered a little bit of that, and I made myself a dress. I used the April Rhodes staple dress pattern and added like a little bit of a sheared waist there. And I used a pattern piece from another vintage pattern that I've got to add these little frills on the side. So yeah. Another dress that I forgot to photograph, but I did make. This is just another one I made for myself. And this is the first dress that I built using that 1970s sewing pattern. And I really like this dress. It fits really nice. And I just used some leftover like cotton drill that I had been gifted. Short mini skirt, dart bodice, zip. Super simple but really nice. Really nice and fitted. And when I wear this one I feel nice. So that's what's important, right? And I also don't really have that many green pieces of clothing. Alright, so here is another, like I said, I've made this short pattern with the vintage short pattern like so many times. But I don't know what I did this day because I made them way too big in the waist. and I had planned, I should have oh no, here it is. I also have a matching, so I was trying to make a matching set out of a it's out of a skirt. It has got Harry Potter print all over it, and for whatever reason, I don't know what I did that day, but I made the waist ginormous for me. When I tried them on at the end, I was like, oh no, squeaky chair. Then there's also this matching top. I wanted it to be cropped, and I wanted it to be cute, matching. I don't know, I think I was going to make them into pajamas, but it's not exactly the most comfortable pajama fabric. So failure. We'll fix and reuse in some way later. Another make that I forgot that I made, some of the things that I have to make are samples for things that I teach at school. It is not quite finished. I just couldn't find the right button, so I hadn't finished it, but I took it to school and showed the kids in my design class so they could see how it was made and stuff. But it's just a denim jacket, cropped collar jacket. These were actually jeans that I found at the op shop, and I painted certain colors, certain colors. And this corduroy was just fabric that scraps that I'd been gifted. And I wanted to see if I could show the kids how to make the denim. Anyway, yeah, so cropped denim jacket, a little bit of Keith inspo in there for the lining. Not finished. So I'll go get this make. Please don't judge it. It's not done. There is a vision. I might make a video about it later. But for the minute, I have stopped. I haven't touched it in about probably over 6 months. I just got over it. But whether or not I finish it, I would like to finish it. Whether or not I do within the next couple of years, it's quite a large project. So I'll go grab that. Yeah. It's a ball gown covered in crocheted flowers, but specifically roses, and I've also crocheted leaves to stitch into there as well. And I've also got a hoop skirt that goes under it to make it go nice and fluffy. I made this, the base part, like this light pink base part that I'm building off of, I made this as well. Anyways, as you can tell, I've hand stitched these flowers on, and they're supposed to go all the way down to the bottom, very, very bottom. But I got bored. I got really bored. This is, yeah, let's not talk about that. Last and by so many means not least, because the amount of hours these jumpers took was beyond countable. Yeah. Last year I got into tapestry crochet. You'll see some other things that I did in this video. First thing I made, once I worked out how to do the tapestry crochet technique, was this. This is my dog. Hey Aya. She's on the floor sleeping. So this is my dog Aya, and this design is from a drawing I did of her a long time ago, and I turned it into a graphic pixel graphcan. No, this is where my brain does this thing again where it's forgotten the word. I used the thing that turns the drawings into pixels and worked out what colors I needed, and I wanted it bright because it's me, so I just chunked a bunch of pretty colors that go nice together. I did not use a pattern for this at all. If you want to jump back and have a rough idea of how I make these kinds of jumpers, I do have a video with the one that I made for Violet up there. So essentially it is square, front square, back square, and then attach the sleeves and I do the ribbing. I don't know, I just taught myself this, so this is how I like it. They're cropped, but yeah, such a cool thing to know how to level up your crochet with tapestry. And then I had to make one for my kids each. I haven't shown anyone this one because he refused to model for me, but that's fine. So there hasn't been any photos of this. Arch likes One Piece and he likes Zorro. So I worked out how to make him. This is the front. So Zorro. This is the back. That's the flag. And the arms are supposed to be swords, but his arms, they were not long enough. And if I changed that, they just look like weird daggers. I don't know. I miscalculated there. The maths was incorrect. That's okay. So yeah, and these are the colors he chose. And same pattern that I used for the Aya one, the dog one as well. And then the last piece of clothing is this one. Squeaky chair. I do have a YouTube video just about how I made this, and you know, she was the client and the client wanted all these colors and she designed the design with me. It's got a, can't quite see it because it's a little bit hard. It's got a V on there for Vi. She chose the colors and I do have some model shots of her wearing them here. So that's cute. First up, bush buddies. These I made out of scraps and fabric paint, and I made these for a workshop at school, and these were just to show the kids what they could turn out like. Platypus and the kookaburra, and I've also made the koala. Got him somewhere. Super easy pattern, actually really fun to make. They come out super cute. Customize them in so many different ways with the different fabric or paint or whatever your brain desires. So yeah, that was the Bush Buddies by Peppermint Magazine. My Fuggler. So I made this pattern and sample for one of my design classes last year, and I am intending on revisiting this pattern and turning it into like a how-to tutorial for those who want to make their own kind of weird monstery things. I ran a toy making unit for my design class, so they made a bunch of different toy types and this was one of them. And she's just made out of just a furry fabric I found at Spotlight, air dry clay teeth, air dry clay eyes, felt, and I did hand paint some of the things to make it kind of look a little bit aged. But yeah, I will work on I've been asked, so I will try and work on a little tutorial about this, how to make your own one of these. You can create a paper pattern or something that's easy to use. Something cool you can do with your class, your design class, or make at home if you feel like making your own little fugglers. Really fun, really weird, but fun. Yeah, super happy with that. This is another sample that I sewed. The design class also studied Squishmallows, the toys Squishmallows. And so this, I'm pretty sure, is a pattern that I found called Squishy Mishies. And I'll try and attach a link to the pattern. And it has a bunch of different varieties of ears and wings and things that you can add. But I just used the exact same fabric as the other one. It's just a sample, and hand stitched a heart on there, little eyes. I have no idea what this creature is. I think it's meant to be a mouse. And then, last but not least, something else I've been making, I made last year. I was experimenting with Chanel Chanel yarn, Chanel wool. I'm Australian, I mean wool. Anyways, I was trying to make like a cute little dumpling koala pattern. I don't know. So this is Vi's. The kids all get my test samples if they want them. So little dumpling koala, no real pattern. I just kind of followed the basic egg shaped pattern and tried to make customized ears, big huge ears, and little knobbly feet. I don't know, something about it wasn't as cute as I wanted, but Violet likes it, so she's got that one. And then I went through a phase where I enjoyed looking at those loafy cat things, those loafy cats. There's a YouTube video that I watched, I'll link it in the notes, but I kind of expanded on that as best I could. These have all, I've stolen these out of the kids' room, so they're all being used, and it's kind of like a bit of a pillow. But I scaled it up. I was playing with scale as well, trying to see how to scale up a pattern and stuff like that. And yeah, so a loaf cat with flower crown, but, and it's meant to be like a strawberry, I think, but I didn't have white. No, I didn't have red, so I did light pink with red seeds. And then I made one for Arch as well because he wanted one, and I used this rainbow pastel. And his is just asleep. Kind of looks like a guinea pig more than a cat. And little knobbly tail, butt, little baby legs. Yeah, so 2 more. So most of these I think I've shown on my Instagram, so I'll try and put the images up. So, or a video, I've probably filmed videos of them. The first thing that I made was this portrait of my kid. I don't know why or where, but I just decided I was obsessed with oil pastels for a little bit, and did an oil pastel portrait, just like a loose impression of him. Yeah, just a fun little oil pastel study of a face. Next, I did, also during my design class, we did some illustration, and I got a little bit obsessed with, is there a theme? I feel like there's a theme of obsession being my theme. Anyways, I got a wee bit obsessed with mashups, style mashups. There's a few different ones. I've done Bluey mashed up with Studio Ghibli, Hermione from Harry Potter mashed up with, I think, Studio Ghibli as well. I think I put her with Kiki. I kind of like, you know, because they're both witches. And I did another one with My Little Pony mixed with a different style, like an early cartoon style, early toon style is the word I'm trying to look for. Of course, I also did a little bit of Peachtober from Furry Little Peach in October. I did a couple of digital drawings, and I'll pop them up here. Peachtober is responding to the prompts set about by Shan, and I usually always do it. I don't always get the whole 30 days done or 30 drawings done. I participate as long as I can because it normally falls over a school holidays at some part, and that's when I can breathe and sit and do some drawing. When you look back at all this, like, I've made a lot. Next is this watercolor portrait that I made of Violet, and it's just something I was exploring for my design kids because I thought it would be kind of really cool for them to learn to do, where it's like the pop-up. It's mixing pop-up like books with painting. Yeah, I really liked it. It was fun. It was good. It was nice to just sit and paint a little bit. Another piece that I made for school, and it is, you see her? It is my little self-portrait Funko Pop. That was when I was exploring resin, curing resin, silicone molds. I'm pretty sure I have a video about that. I'll put that somewhere too. But yep, she's customized air dry clay hair, air dry clay dress. This is probably one of my favourite makes from last year. I'm actually really into sculpture stuff at the moment and learning as much as I can about different sculpture techniques, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos about sculpturing. Sculpturing? We're calling that a word. Next is the punch needle portrait that I did, and what can I say about this one? I just was experimenting with mixing punch needle with portraiture and how that would look and how the face would turn out. Yeah, I actually really like this work and it turned out really well, and it's probably behind me. Yeah, there it is. All right, next is another portrait that I did, and it is a punch needle self-portrait, which I mixed a bunch of different textile medium together, and I made this one to put in one of my local art shows. So it's this one. So it mixes a bunch of different textiles related things. So I did punch needling, and then kind of the rug, a little bit of like random embroidery. I layered collaged fabric and painted on that, hot glued some beads in there. Next I did a set of 4 mini portraits, just a simple in the way that I draw my people, my girls. I wanted to add some sort of texture to the background, so one has pom-poms, one has little resin polymer clay like fruit, another has gold foil, the 4th one has glitter. The first thing I made last year was my exploration into the tapestry crochet, and this was actually supposed to be a front piece for a jumper, but I suck at maths, so it turned into a wall hanging. And it is the Andy Warhol tomato soup, and obviously I could have made this into a dress, but I'm not gonna wear a crochet dress. I live in Australia, it's freaking hot, and yeah, no. So I turned it into wall hanging with some dowel on the top and on the bottom, and now it just hangs in my art studio. And I've learnt from that mistake, so now I know how to size the pixel pictures correctly. See, mistakes. We learn from our mistakes, but I still got this in the end and it was cool. Did I make all this last year? For like, really? The amount of clothes that I made, I felt like I didn't make that much at all. Yeah, it's fascinating to go back and see all of your work from the year before. Aside from all of the other things that I made at school with kids, the murals that I worked on with kids, even if they were for school, I always love to do prototypes for things to show the kids what they're supposed to look like, or to help me teach them how to build it. How am I supposed to teach you the steps if I've not made it before? It seems like insanity to me. I hope you enjoyed this recap of everything that I made from last year. I'll be back another day with another video. Have a lovely 2025. Good luck. We got this. See you next time.